So today we're playing the demo version of Bridgewater Deepwood Access Radio, which is a horror visual novel about two women hosting a late night talk show about paranormal experiences that may or may not be real. I'm gonna hit new game. If I've ever experienced anything supernatural in this life, I was completely oblivious to it. Fortunately, that's not a requirement for my job, in spite of what people assume when I tell them I host a late night radio show about paranormal encounters. Everyone's next question is always, "Wow, have you met a ghost?" Or, "Whoa, have you ever seen anything weird yourself?" No, I haven't, and thankfully my mundane resume was still good enough for the station manager. I took over the show about a year ago now, after the previous host left for some big syndicated satellite radio talk show. Can't blame the guy, not many people who'd want to work midnight to 4 a.m. 7 days a week. And we're not raking in cash out here in rural Massachusetts, even if we do have a pretty steady audience. So, Clay Langley's Ghostlight AM got cut down just to Ghostlight AM, and then when Clay's old co-host just up and disappeared a few months back, Clay decided he wanted the name back for some side gig he's working on. Now I run the witching hours. Same time and frequency as ever. We get a good stream of calls each night, enough that I rarely have to vamp to fill dead air. I've heard everything from obvious prank calls to shaky cryptid sightings to alien abduction stories so vivid I almost pissed myself. But I'm still not really sure if any of it's real. It's my responsibility to keep an open mind though, whether they're terrified or confused or frustrated or just bored. I think it's important for us to be a friendly ear to everyone who calls in. And if I end up believing someone who's yanking my chain or thought a barn owl was the Mothman, that's alright. It's a miserable thing to feel like no one takes you seriously or cares about the things you say. Besides that, my co-host is enough of a wet blanket to cover the whole Bridgewater Triangle. Our skepticism quota is covered and then some. Zinnia Braxton. You really think that's worth our time? Is being gullible part of your radio persona? Hi, Rob. How you doing down there? You're so sweet. They're obviously lying. I would have hung up. Having a hard time, Rob? Wow. She's not bad at her job, exactly. She knows her way around the studio and she's put in plenty of time in the booth, especially dealing with that asshole she replaced. But every time we get a call, she's always needling them to pick apart each and every tiny detail. She's obsessed with proving that people haven't seen jack shit. So sometimes I end up believing the wildest nonsense out of spite. Such good chemistry. Every night without fail, we'll get a completely reasonable call in, and Zinnia will shoot holes in their sighting before the caller even gets a full sentence out. I don't really like people interrupting me, so I would just avoid calling in. Rolling her eyes as she curls her lips into a sour grin, tapping those long, slender fingers impatiently on the table. What was I saying? That's right, Zinnia's good at her job, but she can be a real burr in my thigh, or however the saying goes. Sometimes all a caller wants is to be taken seriously. Sometimes it's like they need it. Even if they just had a bad dream or saw a bear and started to panic. I think you should probably panic if you see a bear, but only mildly so, because otherwise the bear is gonna see you and eat you. If we can at least give them that small peace of mind, then I think we're doing alright. Done for the night, Chuck? Yeah, I just wrapped up everything from evening newsreels, so the board's all set up for you two. Thanks. Have a nice night. Take care. Yep, same to you. One of the stranger parts of my job is the physical isolation. Aside from Zinnia, there's no one else in the building when we go live. Too expensive for a small station to pay the production staff to stay on overnight, so I managed the audio and the switchboard myself. I only see coworkers like Chuck when they're running late after finishing the evening shows, since there's about an hour of music queued up between the end of the news and the witching hours. It's kinda weird, since we end up with the whole building to ourselves until dawn. The traces of all our coworkers are scattered around in the dark, but it's only the two of us in an otherwise empty studio. Just me and that giant, gangly, gorgeous, smarmy goblin. I would just call it gorgeous. Morning, Zinni. Haha. So all good to go tonight? Yes, we got a few emails to answer on the air, along with a few voicemails that I've flagged to delete. Wait, why? Listen, just because people say the wildest shit in our answering machine doesn't mean we should just trash it. So those are the best stories. Best and most obviously fake seem to bear no distinction for you sometimes. If it's entertaining, it's entertaining. I mean, why are we here? Oh, come on. You can't say that we have no way to disprove them. Yes, we do. I can disprove them easily. It's almost time. Are you ready? Yep. Let's get rolling, and please be nicer to the callers tonight. 30 seconds. Welcome back, investigators, insomniacs, and alien eyeliner enthusiasts. You're listening to Bridgewater Deepwood Access Radio, and these are the Witching Hours. I'm Rab Witchwood, and right beside me in this candlelit studio is Zinnia Braxton. This room is lit with no less than 5 fluorescent bulbs, and please don't bring any melting wax near the sound mixer again. Fair enough, fair enough. You know, I'm just saying this for the vibes, right? Is that so? Candlelight can really change the mood of a room. It might make the spirits more likely to swing by for a visit. I think we ought to try it sometime. The time is 12:02 a.m. and before we open the line for calls, we'll begin as usual with the weather. There's a waxing gibbous moon tonight with a moderately strong tidal current along the shore, so take care during your midnight swims. You're gonna get washed out to sea, there's no lifeguard. The temperature is 53 Fahrenheit. 53 degrees Fahrenheit. Sorry, I forget about the degrees sign. With winds blowing gently at 12 knots from the northwest. I don't use Kelvin. I'm gonna admit I know I'm supposed to use Fahrenheit, but honestly I recognize the Celsius scale better. And humid as a cycling gym in hell. Really, I think it's romantic weather. We've also received follow-up information from a couple of our previous callers. As always, thank you all for your stories, no matter how improbable they may be. Hey, ease up, we're not here to drag anybody. I would never drag our loyal listeners. They're just wrong, that's all. Morning, Reb. Mike offline? What's this mean? Yeah, you all remember Annabelle who called in last month to tell us about the strange nutcracker that seemed to be moving around her house in the middle of the night? I bet it was remote control. Well, we got an email from her just an hour ago with a video of the nutcracker moving from the kitchen into the attic. Carried by a raccoon that's been living in her house apparently for months. This is unsurprising. I told her as much when she called. Are you sure? I'll be honest, it's still field theory that the raccoon has been repositioning this nutcracker around the house. Why would an animal do that? Wild animals exhibit unpredictable behavior. Perhaps the nutcracker is its friend. That is an insane theory. I don't know, still sounds like something spooky is going on there. Stay safe, Annabelle. It's called The Raccoon's Haunted. Also, Mr. Frank Harbinge called us back with the lab results from that hair sample he collected by his deer stand in the Catskills. Now, some of that hair was definitely from a black bear, but the long, scraggly tuft he found wedged in the tree stump next to his truck. It was his hair! He's going bald! According to the lab report, it doesn't match any known animal. That doesn't prove it's a Sasquatch. It could be synthetic hair, because a lot of synthetic hair is used in clothing nowadays. Maybe not, but it definitely proves that there was something weird out there with him on that overnight hunt. It was actually just his jacket. He got his jacket caught on something. No, it doesn't prove that either. Well, maybe not proves, but it's definitely still a mystery. Alright, now we've kept the listeners waiting long enough and our switchboards are lighting up again tonight. Then, who's our first caller? Before we open the line tonight, we have a story from our mailbox. That's right, and if you're listening to this in the daylight hours, remember that you can still send us your stories. Just call in or shoot us an email using the contact form on the website. Alright then, let's hear what our listener Meg has to say. Hi, I'm a recent listener, but I'm already such a huge fan. My family is from this area, but I just moved back here a few months ago. The thing is, ever since I came back here, I've been recalling all sorts of old memories I didn't even know were there. When I was very young, I used to come visit my grandmother here all the time. I have so many strong memories of her house. Visiting her always felt so special. She'd made up this small room at the front of the house into a bedroom for me, right across from the entryway where she kept her grand piano. Nice. The room was tiny, probably no bigger than 6 by 6 feet. Really, the perfect size for a little girl. It had a shelf full of children's books, and sitting on top was this elegant rabbit doll with an intricate, fluffy dress with her own little tea set. God, I loved that doll. I used to beg my grandma to let me take her home with me, but she always said that it would make visits more special if the doll stayed with her. The story I want to tell is about after my grandmother died. I was still in elementary school then. There was a lot to clear out after my grandma's passing. She'd loved to dabble in all sorts of crafts, so her office was stacked with half-completed projects and unused art supplies. My aunt also lived in the area, still does, but clearing out the house was going to be too much for her to handle on her own, so my mom and I planned to stay in the house while they sorted everything. That house had so many eccentricities. Everything creaked when you walked through it. The stairs that led up to my grandma's room were at the front of the house near my bedroom, so I would always hear her coming down to make a pot of coffee in the morning. The guest room that my mother used was on my side of the house, but tucked away in the back. To get to it, you pass through a thin hallway that led to the back of the house, and at the very end of the hall was a screen door that led out to the backyard. I will never forget. I'd enter the hallways from the dining room, and there was this cabinet full of porcelain I would pass on the way, always shake as I walked by. I got in the habit of tiptoeing past it when I was going to find my mother, and then sped my way down the rest of the hallway. For all that I loved that house, being there without Grandma was not the same. The room I had always loved felt cold and unfamiliar. The days following her death, I could barely stand to sleep in there. I used to always hear the sounds of the neighborhood through the windows. Cars driving by, the hum of bugs in the yard. I felt alone in that house in a way that I never had before. My mother felt so much more distant, sleeping in the guest room all the way in the back of the house. I was always so careful with my rabbit doll, so I never kept her in my bed while I slept. But those days after my grandma's passing, I bundled her in my arms as I slept, hoping to ease my nervous heart. This one night, I suddenly woke up in the dark. My skin was sticky with sweat even though the air was chilly. The quiet of the night was so heavy that I could almost feel it weighing down on me. I clutched the doll to my chest, and only then did I notice what had woken me up. I could hear the dull creak of the stairs, a careful exploratory sound cutting through the deep quiet. I held my breath, waiting to see if it would come again. Just as I thought the moment had passed, there was another creak of the stairs, more assured this time. Then, with less of a pause, another. I couldn't bear to stay still any longer. I didn't step out of bed so much as crawl out of it, my outstretched hand reaching the floor first, then my knee, the doll tucked up against me as I slowly made it across the room. Even now, I still remember the feeling of the carpet pressed against my skin. I stopped when I came to the bedroom door. I tried hard to listen for another sound, but my heart was beating so loud that it was all I could hear. I needed to see if something was really there. So carefully, I turned the door handle and cracked the door just enough that I could look through the gap of one eye. At first, all I saw was dark. Almost no light was coming through the front windows, but with some concentration, I could make out the shape of the piano on the other side of the entryway. Then my whole body froze as a shadow moved across the piano. Something was there. I could hear the sound of it passing its fingers across the top of the piano. I felt that movement like it was running across my own skin. Then I heard the unmistakable sound of the key lid being lifted. Almost experimentally, the thing began to play the keys. I knew, without a doubt, that I wasn't safe where I was. Even now, I don't understand how I dared to do it, but I had to move. I was distracted. I needed to hurry. I needed my mom. I inched the door open, only enough so that I could slide through. Every moment I was terrified that the sound of the door or the wood floor underneath would give me away. I stayed on my hands and knees, awkwardly carrying the doll with me like a lifeline. I could see my destination in the distance. The moonlight was casting through the screen door, creating a square of light across the floor. From this side of the house, it felt like an eternity away. But I was sure that if I could just get to that light, I would be safe. I kept to the wall, imagining the path I had taken so many times before. I slowly made my way across the dining room floor, listening attentively to the offbeat notes of the piano to make sure the thing was still distracted. I froze as my hand touched a solid piece of wood in front of me. I had made it to the porcelain cabinet. How would I possibly make it pass without getting the thing's attention? The only other way forward would be to circle all the way around the dining table, and that would mean moving back towards the piano. I'd have to carry forward. As light as a feather, I leaned forward on the balls of my feet and reached out carefully, slowly shifting the weight onto my hands. The first step forward was quiet. The piano continued. I moved another step. My breath tightened my chest. Only one more and I would be past the cabinet and into the hallway. As I moved forward again blindly, my hand smacked against an unexpected obstacle. I hit the edge of one of the dining room chairs. Everything stopped. The repressive silence returned. Every hair on my body was standing on end. Before I had the chance to react, the bolt, the thing was on me. My doll tumbled out of my hands and I was crushed to the floor, the sounds of porcelain clattering above me. I couldn't breathe, I couldn't see, I couldn't cry. All I knew was the terrible feeling of the thing crushing my throat. I longed for my mom. I wish I at least had my doll. And something curious happened. Moments before my doll had fallen out of reach, but I could sense that she was near me. There's this soft, lovely sound like a jingle of bells, and suddenly the thing was off me. I didn't take even a moment to think. I grabbed my doll and I ran without thought. The hallway that had seemed so long before I cleared without even realizing. I slammed into the back door with a loud crash and collapsed down into that reflected square of light on the floor. Then I started sobbing. The memories after that aren't as clear. I remember my mom rushing out and turning on the hallway light. Through massive tears and snot, I tried to tell her about the thing in the entryway. She went through and turned on every light in the house to prove that we were safe, but I was determined that we both leave the house immediately. I wish I could remember the moment we trekked up to my aunt's front door in the middle of the night. Now I realize how strange it all must have been for the rest of my family. Everything that happened after leaving the house is honestly kind of a blur. My mom and I stayed with my aunt for the next few weeks. Mom on the couch and me on the floor in the sleeping bag. We would all go over to the house during the day. I think my mom expected me to want to stay at my aunt's while they worked, but it scared me more to know that they were at the house without me. Instead, I stood vigilant, my doll wrapped tight in my arms as they cleared out the house. The house is still around, by the way. I haven't been inside it since we sold it, but I've passed by it a few times on walks just to see. It's strange. I recognize it, but deep down, that house feels like a stranger to me. What really bothers me is that I have no clue where my rabbit doll is now. I remember carrying her with me every day from my aunt's place to my grandma's house, and sleeping with her beside me. Even after the house was sold, she was with me. I don't know when I stopped needing her beside me every day. At this point, I've dug through every storage box my family has, and I have yet to find her. I miss her. Anyway, I thought you two might have some insights on what I experienced. I can't say for certain it wasn't a dream or the fantasy of a child, but my body remembers it in a way that makes me certain it was real. I hope you've enjoyed my story, and if any listeners think they may have stumbled across my rabbit doll, I'd love to find her again. Well, that was an incredible story. Thanks to Meg for sharing all that. I wouldn't call it incredible. You wouldn't? I think it's touching, but it's nothing out of the ordinary. She clearly had a vivid dream and a stressful time in her life. Wait, you're gonna write all of that off as just a dream? It could also be a jumble of other memories. That's usually how strange childhood recollections work. Right, for some people, not for everyone. Let's take this at face value, though. I, for one, think Meg was wide awake through all of this. And you think that some sort of ghost or spirit played the piano before attacking a small girl whose rabbit doll then magically protected her? Come on now, you can't just toss it all out like that. I'll be the first to say that I've got no idea what happened to you in that house, Meg. But I definitely think that rabbit doll saved you. Not sure from what, but I hope you and that doll find each other someday. Yes, I hope you can find the doll again. We've got a few other callers online, and as a reminder, we're taking calls all evening. We'll put you on the air as soon as we're able, so please be patient. Let's bring on our first caller tonight. By the way, I'm gonna take my time and give my 5 cents on this. I think what it was a home intruder, home invader, home invasion who knows how to play. Home invader who knows how to play the piano. It was a stranger who randomly walked in your house, suddenly strangled a small child, and then left. What do I know? They didn't check. They didn't say that the door wasn't open. Welcome to Witching Hours. You're on air. No. What? Excuse me? Why is this... Oh, wait. I think it's because they forgot to turn off focus on this or something, and so if I hit space, it... Huh. Your excuse, but it's pronounced Callum, actually. Oh, I know. I was saying that you're a caller to the show. Oh, this is my first time. So, Callum, I prefer Cal. Callum is too formal. It's what people call me. It's what my people call me. Okay, so Cal, what's the score? What have you got for us tonight? Please introduce yourself and tell us why you called in. We'll help us best as we can within the bounds of our expertise. I am Mr. Callum C. Calwood. Oh my god, regional manager, regional man. Triple C, that's cute. No, Callum C. Calwood, not Callum C. Calwood, I was very clear. What? I try to replay his words in my head and they're not making any more sense to me. And I want to be clear, I'm not one of your usual cranks. I watch as Zinnia's finger hovers over the disconnect call button. Really now? Indeed, I'm a respectable man. I have a respectable full-time job where I work more than my fair share. Says the regional manager, regional man. Unlike some of my people, I respect the company and give 110% effort, 110% of the time. Like certain layabouts who could do with being laid off. Not to mention time thieves who I don't have any time for whatsoever. Rob, is there any reason we shouldn't cut our losses early and move on to the next caller? I still don't understand how this works. I'm just gonna keep clicking this one. If it's selecting dial. Because I wanna know what Rob has to say. No. Oh, I understand now. They're just like, it's literally offline. It's not like a selection screen. The details he gave in the screening were interesting enough. I flicked through my notes, suddenly doubting my choice to put Mr. Middle Management on the air. I know he's a pain, but I think he has a real story here. I'm curious to hear him out. Let's just get him on topic, okay? It's still early in the night. If he flops, you got juicy stuff to move on to. Last one. Alright, as long as you know you're making a mistake. Then you miss 100% of the mistakes you don't make. If only I could cut you off as easily as him. And don't get me started on Laura Ruster's worse than the rest of my people for sure. I just love how scuffed this art is. Sorry, but you keep referring to your people. Who are you talking about? Apology accepted, young miss. My people are the subordinates I manage. I'm the regional manager of... Well, I prefer not to name my employer. I don't want them in any hot water. Over supernatural scandals, suffice to say they're very B.I.G. deal, and I manage the affairs of our fair region. And, as I often say, our motto is facts, not fiction. Fascinating. And let's focus on the supernatural scandal. Was it a live sighting, a dead sighting, perhaps even the rare Schrödinger sighting? Oh, none of the above, my dear. I told you I'm not some typical case. So you didn't see anything? Sight is not the only sense, ladies. The way he says ladies makes me feel like he's never met one. I really hope that's the case. It was a hearing. This guy is not okay. Like a trial, like the one I hope you get into soon. No, I heard something unnatural. I was taking one of my hikes through the woods to recover from the stress of my enormously important job. How are you so sure it's supernatural? Are you versed in identifying wildlife calls as well? I have it recorded. I can play for you now. Listeners may want to turn their sound down. Okay, that sounds legit. I don't know, Rob. Just sounds like a synth, a generic synth. I'm just kidding. It's not that generic. I've never heard of a legit. My first instinct was Banshee. Oh no, your ears would be. You would not be alive. Also, I think they would avoid you. With a force. They would be forced away. I don't think you would hear them. Oh wait, no. Maybe that's why it's so quiet. But there's no way a Banshee's going near you, buddy. Banshees are famous for their screams. People are quick to report such things upon hearing unidentified noises, but often they're just animals people aren't accustomed to hearing. Like foxes. Right, for it to really be a Banshee, doesn't she need to signal someone's death? Hope is yours. Yes, that's quite right, ladies. And that's why the morning after, I checked the local obituaries and cross-referenced their addresses against where I heard the scream. Dude, it's like so many people dead every day. It's just like a coincidence. It was right on the edge of the woods, so at least so many people live in the area. Yet, somebody did indeed die that very night. Oh man, condolences to the family. Yes, terrible loss presumably. I did look up the man, but I didn't find anything of note. I've since forgotten his name. The important part is that this proves I was correct. A classic case of a banshee, and insofar as you consider correlation and causation, the one are the same. They come from Ireland, though. People immigrate all the time, Reb. Yeah, but cryptids. Cryptids are people too. Banshees are harmless. Some tales claim they cause death, but really they just warn of an impending one. Aw, isn't that nice of them? At least that way folks know what's coming. Would you want to know if I was about to die, Zinnia? What would you do if you knew it was her last day, Zinnia? I'd probably spend my last day tracking her down to thank her. Would you want to know if I was about to die, Zinnia? I know what she's gonna say. Maybe, so I can write my obituary in advance. Something like that. I want to know. I actually do want to know what this is. Well, banshees typically don't alert their co-host. It's supposed to be your loved ones. Oof! Oh, right. That's true. It'd be embarrassing if she showed up screaming at your door. Oh, you're blushing, huh? Ladies! You interrupted me. I think we're just talking. If it was a simple case of a banshee, I'd have handled this easily myself. This is a much trickier case, in fact. You have never talked to a woman in your life besides this single experience. Women must have avoided you in high school. Oh really? Did more people die? No, but I decided to investigate further. I knew where I had heard the banshee on my walk, so I pinpointed the map. I'm faxing you a map of my findings now. Faxing? Is that real? You heard him? Faxing. Facts, not fiction. He's gotta use his company time to do it. We don't have a fax machine. What's that sound? Can't you just email it in? Electronic mail. weep for the youth. No, I won't be sending you a throwaway digital file made of flimsy bytes to be downloaded. You can always rely on its good, solid facts. I always say, a fact spits facts. That's the fact. I hate this man. You're always saying that? It turns out we do have a fax. It's that thing under the toaster oven we thought was a shredder. Oh, the one that makes ungodly sounds and spits pages directly into the bin? So you got my fax then. Evidently. Routine hangout spot. Nice affordable homes. At least I think that says affordable. I can't tell. Maybe he just writes badly. Scene of the crime. Dense, poorly maintained forest. I gotta love how this smeared. I assume that's because your fax sucks. There's even like a random line here. What? So I heard the wail of the Banshee right around Point Alpha, as indicated with the letter Alpha. So right here, you know, the fish. Fish? I like fish. I think it's a lowercase alpha, specifically. From observing the land, I presume that the creature masquerading as a banshee must live in the denser section of the woods, away from more residential areas, trying to hide whatever nefarious deeds are happening. Has anything nefarious happened? Oh, most assuredly, the worst crime of all. What's that? Squatting, the theft of vacant property. You think the banshee was squatting? Keep up, please, or another banshee was somewhere deep in the woods that realized that she must be squatting when it consulted all the land records for the local area. Are you a Karen? No, you're Cal. You're Callum. You must be joking. I fixed you the records of every plot of land in and around the woods. I hate you. Why? This is gonna eat up all our paper, dude. You now have double-sided printing. You may need an upgrade if so. Any modern fax machine out to handle that. Modern fax machine is an oxymoron. Young miss, I like your newfangled slang. A lesson I like being called a moron. You can check the land deeds when they're fully there, but I shall carry on. I do stay at an abandoned old cabin in the depths of the woods, but ashore must be where our culprit resides. As you can see, I marked out with an omega. That is in fact an omega. It's a horseshoe thing. I can see that, although I can't see why you've done that. Alpha is the beginning, and omega is the end. What do they teach kids in schools these days? I don't think they really teach children Greek letters anymore. So you wanted this omega spot? I did, but first I discovered something shocking on my way there. Nearly lost in the dirt path, but it sparkled when I shone a light over it and marked the spot with J. It's this X. If you didn't know, that's why we call it Christmas. This is the Greek letter Chi. Like, Xmas actually it's just Christmas. Sorry to tell you that. You mean this X? No, young miss. I used the words I mean. I marked it with G. I've also faxed you a photo of the item I found. So you don't know what I found? No, I'm sure what it is, but I'd like you to corroborate my findings. It looks like a comb. Kind of looks more like somebody's, like a skeleton or something. That doesn't look like a banshee's comb. Did you take it? Well, miss, anyone with a scrap of intelligence will tell you never to touch a banshee's comb for fear of a reprisal. Yes, but did you touch it? Indeed I did. I need a better angle to take this photo of my find. But, of course, that goes to show that she's not a banshee, correct? Otherwise, she would have hounded me to reclaim her item. I don't think she wants it back. I mean, it's you that touched it. Doesn't look like a banshee style either. Yeah, this seems more aquatic, right? That was precisely my hypothesis. Are you thinking what I'm thinking? Letters? I hope not. Well, we don't have much to go on. Did you find something more? Indeed. At this point, I had a very solid hypothesis, but I understand not everyone would necessarily be able to make the same intelligent leap as a mermaid. To make my way closer to Point Omega, as previously discussed, certain that something deeply mysterious and groundbreaking was afoot. And do you know what I found? If it's not like a mermaid, like, not even like a normal mermaid, or like a siren, what if it's like it's not even like a really ugly mermaid from the hoax, from the traveling circuses and stuff? No. Hear me out. What if it's literally just a fish? A walking fish. Alternatively, out of left field, Selkie. Although, why would it be a Selkie in the lake? That makes no sense. But then again, Xenia did say, immigration. No, we don't. I found a seal. What? What? Okay. Down by the coast? Indeed. Fascinating, isn't it? Is it? It is? Is it? It is? I like the exclamation marks. I think I see where he's going with this. That seal didn't stay a seal, did she? I'm glad one of you is picking up where I'm facting now. Yes. I was concealed carefully in the bushes. Dude, you're a creep. Right near the cabin, by the woods. I watched as the seal emerged from the water, suddenly shedding its skin to become a tall, acceptably attractive woman. Oh my god. Woman? Acceptably attractive? Well, I can't speak to the basic tastes of the men you ladies must go after, but to my eyes she was pleasant, though not the type I go for. Can we just throw this guy into the lake? He deserves to be there. The listeners are probably more interested in the seal than your taste, Cal. So she turned into a woman? Yes, and I trust you know what that would mean. Says Selkie. Another Irish cryptid. She could be Scottish either. Changes from seal to human and back. Wrong. Cosplayer. Excuse me. Well, naturally, this strange creature exhibits traits of both the Banshee and Selkie. It doesn't take a genius to put it together, so I hope you ladies can see what I'm getting at. I looked at Xenia for guidance here, feeling all of my depth. I think Xenia wants to throw this guy. Like, she surely, her hand is on that button. She's like, can we click this button? I want to click this button so badly. We need to cut this guy off. We do not need to listen to this man any further. What are you getting at? I've discovered a new species. A Bankie, or maybe a Selshee. Perhaps it depends on which is the more dominant trait. Ah, what cute names. Xenia, are you more of a Bankie or a Selshee? You tell me. I'll tell you if you're right. Oh crap. Oh god, I can't mess this up. Okay, no pressure. Of course I got this. You're so obviously Bankie reminds me of Banksy. It's not as cute. Selshee's cuter. I think it's Selshee. Is that really what you think of me? You're cute. Yes. Yes. Was that the right answer, or have I offended you? Ladies, please save the girl talk for later. I have discovered a sentry here in my very region. Cal, tell me, have you considered that maybe two cryptids here? Or more likely that you interrupted the swimmer after seeing a normal seal on a New England beach? I think it's funny. I like how this guy has literally pushed her so far over the edge that she's like, what if there's like two cryptids? I don't even believe in cryptids. But what if there are two? Of course I have considered and rejected such simple hypothesis. Always two steps ahead, aren't you? naturally, you don't succeed in my business by lagging behind. You never told us what business you're in. He obviously sells fax machines. Oh my god, there's more faxes! Cal, I'm glad you're prepared, but remember, we're on an audio medium here. Isn't all really necessary? Yes, I'm sending you the real hard evidence. Actual real faxes of photos. Isn't it great to have the real deal in your hands? Real, honest to goodness, copies of photos. Oh, what a cute cabin. This is your proof then? There's more to see, but yes, I got photos of the full perimeter of the cabin. Checked out the approximate size of it. I estimated the interior to be 545 square feet. Far too little space for two creatures. It stretches credulity. Do you think? I give Xenia a long, hard, millennial stare before deciding not to adjust it. Those are nice photos of the mall, but I don't know if just that is proof. Also, isn't this just a picture of somebody's house? Eventually, letters. You're talking to get them see, coward. I always go an extra mile for my team. I have more photos. Keep looking. Xenia, you should say this. Not content with my highly accurate and efficient measurements from outside, I inspected the inside. Isn't this just trespassing? What? The door was unlocked, so naturally I do my due diligence and walked right in. I saw a small, deceptively intimate living space, some scattered books, a TV, a fireplace, but then I saw a nail in the coffin that proved my theory. By the way, you know that, like, swimmers are often mistaken for seals? Because of, during shark sightings, that's the excuse that people say that, like, if you get like, attacked by a shark, it's because you probably look like a seal to them. So maybe this guy's just a shark. He has the view of a shark. Well, I don't think that's a good way either way. Dude, this is messed up. You can't be... Note in picture 7B that there's only one man. Letters. Now, please explain to me, letters, how the female that encountered twice could possibly be two separate females sharing one bed. Checking the... You really said the F word. He really did. Sorry about that, listeners. Sometimes the real scary creeps can get past our screening, but let that be a reminder to you all. Don't go into ladies' bedrooms. Yeah, I should click that button a little earlier, but you never know until you encounter one of those people. You never know. This guy's an absolute lunatic. Especially not cryptids. They deserve their privacy, no matter how curious you are about that enchanting, mysterious woman. You're not speaking from personal experience, are you? No, of course not. I've never followed through on something invasive like that. So you'd want it just as bad, but wouldn't have the stomach to go through with it. How about that couple? They sounded real cute, huh? Good taste in books, too. If the two of you happen to be listening in, let us know if you prefer the couple named Bankie or Selshee. They probably have actual names, Reb. Alright, you can tell us your names just if you want to, but please do get a lock on your door. There's weirdos out there named Cal. And now that we're closing in on 1:30, it's time for a quick commercial break. We'll be taking more calls soon, so stay tuned. You're listening to BDWA Radio, and these are the witching hours. Phew. That last one was... That's illegal, right? You don't think Cal is dangerous, do you? Not dangerous in a way that would make me worry for those two in the cabin, but if I knew he was in my apartment, I'd scour every surface with bleach. Is this a situation where we have to call the authorities? There's not really anything we could tell them, is there? We don't know exactly where he was, and besides, the cops never do anything to guys like that. The only thing I can imagine worse than Cal coming into my house unannounced is Cal now arguing with a pair of cops in my house at midnight. I'll get this and screen the next set of callers. Go take your break. You sure? Thanks, in. And our cool glasses come back. Be back in 5. I can't believe there really was a fax machine in the break room all the time. Actually, I can't believe it since this studio's been around for decades and the manager never throws anything away. I'm more amazed that was still hooked up to the phone lines and had enough ink to print though. And I hope those two in the cabinet are right. I think Zinnia was probably right. That Cal isn't a physical danger to them, but I don't like the idea that it's just snooping around their house in the middle of the night. What the F, man? Wait a second. Outside there, is that Chuck's car? Wonder why he hasn't left yet. Oh, maybe he just walked over to Gray's Tavern. Oh god. I hope the hell the next set of callers is easier on my nerves than that last one. Let's see. Oh, this one should be entertaining. Yes, you've connected. Please hold. We'll be with you after the commercials. Sir, I have another call, so please be patient. Now hold. Hello. You've reached BDWA Radio. No, I'm not putting on another Glimmerman sighting. Call your optometrist when you get a chance, though. Good night. What else do we have? Hello, you. Oh, you're the two from the last call. I'm so sorry about that. You've taken care of him. That's good. That's reassuring. Would it be alright to clear that up for our listeners? Of course. Thank you. And I hope the two of you enjoy your evening. In many ways, my job is delightful. I wrote my sleep schedule years ago, so overnight shifts have always been my preference. And despite the obvious fabrications people always bring to us, I don't dislike the work. And to think, just 6 months ago, I was half a heartbeat away from quitting. I consider myself fairly reasonable and tolerant of harsh office conditions, but that asshole who used to co-host with Reb nearly drove me up a wall. The police barely gave Sully Litchfield's disappearance a passing glance, and the station management didn't seem to care either. I suppose even being a prominent local radio host doesn't mean much when you personally harassed nearly everyone in the county. Good riddance. I'm not a fan of organizations that rely on individuals with unique skills to carry their operations. It's too easy to get trapped with no way to take a vacation or sick leave when you're the only one who knows how to handle the equipment. But it is thanks to that style of management that I got promoted to my position of co-host here, so I won't complain. Not out loud, anyway. Yes, I do enjoy my evenings here. On that note, I wonder if Reb has realized yet. All good? Yes, and good news too. Really. I'll announce it on here. We're already to the CM jingle, so you've got 15 seconds. Gotcha. Well, Reb seems to be enjoying herself for now, so I won't say anything if she doesn't. Welcome back, cryptids, callers, and California condors. I hear they're making a comeback. That's right, you were watching one of them hatch on the webcam a while back, weren't you? Was I? That was a while ago. Listeners will be pleased to hear that we have good and reassuring news concerning our previous call. The residents of the cabin that our last caller unlawfully intruded upon called us over to break to let us know that they have handled the situation. Mr. Calwood has been removed from the premises, and the two women in question are unharmed. Irritated, but unharmed. Oh thank God, I was legitimately worried there. Hey everyone out there, don't break into anyone's house, even if you think there's a cryptid in there. No, especially if you think there's a cryptid in there. Indeed. The time is 12:36 a.m., and once again, you're listening to the Witching Hours. That's right, and it looks like we've got a couple more callers lined up already. Our next story comes from, can you read this? that is written in Japanese, a language which I have only rudimentary knowledge of, but that katakana at the end reads Hotel Fantastic. Oh, an international caller. Exciting. You're live, bud. Give me your name, notes, and non-fictional narrative in that order. America? Yep, that's right. What time is it over there? I think this might be our first ever international call. Ooh, did you see a kappa? Usually... So, once again, I will remind everyone that I live in America. And I think GST is probably like 18 hours or so away from me, personally. I'm on the West Coast. They're on the East Coast. So, it'd still probably be like relatively... But there's sunlight out. It's daytime for Japan, I think. By the time they're calling in, I think. No, wait. I bet if you're in a hotel, it's how do you say it? Sashiki warashi. Those are more commonly found in ryokan or traditional inns. Hotel Fantastic does not sound like a typical name for either. What time is it where you are? You're in Massachusetts, ain't you? I sure hope we are. We are broadcasting from Bridgewater, yes? The local time is 12:38 a.m. Okay. That's a relief. That must mean that here it's about 2:30 in the afternoon. Much sense as that makes. Excuse me, sir, but you're live on the air for a segment where we take reader anecdotes about the paranormal and supernatural. So, I'm gonna make a guess here before we get into the story. This guy's stuck in a hotel disconnected from time that's supposed to be in Japan, but somehow he's fallen out of time. He's stuck somewhere. He's stuck in a hotel. If you don't cooperate, we will have to terminate your call. No, please. You were just the first voice I've heard in, I don't know, hours, at least days. I was gonna give your number to my kid. She wants to go into radio. That's the only reason I have it, but... Name, notes, non-fictional narrative. Oh, fine. Okay. You can call me Arthur. I tried calling places, but I couldn't get through. I'm in the... What? Hotel. Yes, the Hotel Fantastic. I love hotel. Oh my, and what brings you here across the globe at this hour? So I think this guy's like, he's stuck in this hotel, right? He's probably a tourist, which is why he speaks English. And also why he has their number. I'll tell you everything. I go to Japan pretty often on business trips. Twice, maybe 3 times a year for a week or so. My wife and daughters know I go to a few conferences and spend one day taking tourist photos and all that crap and then come home. Except, well, sometimes I go back to the hotel my company booked for me, but I don't stay there. And this guy in Japan, he goes by Mickey with me and I meet up with him. I can't explain too many details about that. I'm sorry, but my wife and kids don't know about him or that I go to a hotel in the area with him at least twice per trip. It's not relevant, that whole side of things, so we don't talk about it. Anyway, we hadn't tried this place before. We've been to a few of the love hotels around the area, but I'm breaking to ask you to explain what a love hotel is for audience. It's literally a love hotel. You go, you make love on the bed stair, and then you leave. That's where all the one-night stands happen. Do I have to? Fine, a love hotel is a cheaper hotel you can go to have adult relations, but I don't need to explain what those are, do I? There's a lot of them in Japan. Great idea if you ask me. You pay a fixed rate for an hour, or a few hours, or overnight. And it's very private. Most of the time, you don't even have to see another human being. So, did you go with Mickey? Like, I'm gonna get that out of the way. Did you go with Mickey? Like, you two in a love hotel? Just you two? No plans with other people, right? Or... were you meeting up with somebody? You said that, like, you haven't heard a voice in a while, so I assume Mickey's not there with you right now. So, what the heck? I'm sorry for the loss, dude. That's how this one operates, except, okay, there's usually someone around if there's any questions about checking in. But Mickey told me that since everything is getting more modern, and people are getting even more embarrassed about using love hotels, it wasn't weird for there to just be a kiosk and a touchscreen to reserve a room. This place was pretty popular, it turns out. There weren't many rooms left. So I get to a room, and it's like usual, except, okay, so in this places, if you want to order food, you order from a menu on the TV or on your phone. And then some worker comes and brings it up to the little room between your room and the hallway and leaves your order on a shelf for you. But this place had no in-between room, and instead there's just a shelf and a dumbwaiter in the room itself. Yeah, Mickey. Oh, so you did go up, Mickey. Nice. Ordered some champagne and stuff, and it came up on the dumbwaiter with no problem, and we sent her empty glasses and bottle back down when we were done. It was great. But also, you have a wife, dude. So we had, our meeting, and that was fine. But then I woke up and Mickey wasn't there anymore. I think, well, sometimes Mickey steps out to get cigarettes because club hotels charge that stuff on a premium. I call from the hotel landline, but it's not like he's even not answering his phone. It's like the damn thing is dead. It just won't ring it. So I tried calling the number of a pizza place, and that one connects. But the sound quality is lousy, and the people can't hear me. So I think is probably a callback to Kisaragi station in a similar core of the story, which is get somewhere, oh god, I'm stuck. I wait for a while. It's been maybe an hour when I realize Mickey's shoes are still in the rack at the door and his coat is hung up where mine is. It's pretty cold here for the time of year, and he wouldn't have gone out without a coat. I figure he's messing with me. He does like to play pranks. I get up and start calling for him, but there's nowhere in the room he could hide. So it makes sense that maybe he just went down to the hotel lobby or something, right? I leave the room, but prop the door open for some reason, just a hunch that I don't want to get locked out, even though I took the card with me. I don't know why, but I try the doors on the room. Either side of mine, they were occupied when we booked, so maybe someone is in there. But no one answers. I mean, of course they don't. I wouldn't answer some freak jiggling the door handle if it was me in there. Now, part of why I called your radio station, even though I don't much going for this kind of junk. My daughter likes all that witchy stuff, that's why I wanted to recommend her to intern here, so no offense. It's because I swear, when I first came in here, the hallway was real short. But when I decided to go downstairs and check the lobby, it was like, I don't know what it was, like one of those dreams where you're walking towards the door and it never gets any closer. But I kept walking, and the few lift or something because I made it to the elevators at the end. But I would also say this is a little similar in tone to that one episode of Chainsaw Man, or if you read the manga, it's more of an arc, I guess, where Denji and others get stuck in a hotel or something like that. 30? At first, I was convinced that they wouldn't work, but I got inside anyway and hit the button for the ground floor. I think it moved. Sorry, I know we sound crazy, but I'm not crazy. It felt like it moved. I think it reached the ground floor. But I couldn't. I couldn't get out of the elevator. I just knew somehow that if I left, something awful would happen. I'm not crazy. I'm not crazy. But maybe you have an idea why I couldn't get out of there. I just ended up going back to the room. The lights are all still on, and when I try more doors on the way back, the hallway feels normal when I walk back to my room. I don't get an answer from any of them. I don't get it. Like, I get that I'm doing something wrong, okay? 29. I get that I shouldn't have been doing this all this time. I get that I should have been better to my wife. I should have lied. I get that I shouldn't be using hotels like this. I get that I should have had the guts to tell people I can't. I can't, not this late. 28. And what if Mickey's in danger and I can't get to him because I'm such a gutless coward? I don't even know how long he's been missing. It feels like days, but I can't be. I guess I haven't meeting in 27. Sorry, I'm a little slow at reading this. Been, well, at least 24 hours. Maybe I'm drunk. Do you think it's it? Do you think my wife knows already? You think my daughter came up with the idea? She's got a dark sense of humor. She likes all that creepy ghost haunting stuff. So maybe it could be her, but... Or maybe... 26. Mickey's playing a joke on me. I like to think it's sad. I really like to think it's sad. 25. But do you want to know the weirdest thing? If you're still there... We're still here. I can still order food. 24. I just did. I put in an order for a katsu meal set and I played the little jingle and everything. Oh god. What if it's like fried Mickey? 23. I don't know much, but I know that kashimari mashita noise that meant your order went through. What the heck, dude? What is that? What? That's certainly a thing to hear. Your mishearing skills are next level. 22. So, am I going crazy because when I called into the lobby, it just rings out? It's like there's no one there. But they're not outsourcing their goddamn TV dinner service, are they? Oh, wait, I hear something. 20. 19. I think something's coming out the delivery shaft. 18. It smells kind of bad. 17. Well, if rancid tonkatsu was part of the joke, good one, Ellie. 16. Good one, Gina. Good one, Mickey, you got me. Wait, what the? 15. What does that mean? Why does it? 15. What? 15. Sir? We lost contact. I expect the hotel limits the length of international calls since they can be quite costly. Okay. Why didn't you call the embassy or the police? Probably because he couldn't. He doesn't know that. I don't think he knows the numbers for those. I would consider that obvious. He does not want the nature of his tries to be exposed to the public. Am I to understand that his daughter listens to, or at least has expressed interest in our humble radio show? I guess... I don't know if all that counts as a supernatural experience or not. And didn't they say it was cold for this time of year? It's December even in Japan, isn't it? Yes, sir. Or yes, ma'am, actually. My bad. It is cold. I mean, you see, like... There's always snow there, like Hokkaido. Around this time of year, I think, too. Specifically. They have, like, a snow festival. Sounds like pretty cool. Maybe one day I'd want to go. But that'd be, a bit far in the future. Expensive. KFC? Maybe he'll call back once he's calmed down. No. What I think happened here is this guy... He's been dead for a while. He's 100% been dead for a while. So, that sounds like a pretty terrifying situation. Trapped inside a hotel for who knows how many hours, all on your own. It sounds more like a combination of jet lag, alcohol, and guilt might have gone to him. Even though he's done this dozens of times before. Apologies if any of his family is listening. I'm sure the staff at that hotel will find him if he's in trouble and hopefully get some rest. Next caller? Yes, our next caller is on the line now. Hey, guys, I'm Madison. For someone to say, I'm a huge fan and always love tuning in. You two are super, super, super adorable, and I just can't get enough of the show. Whoa, there. Madison, are we listening to the same show? You haven't fallen into an alternate dimension, right? Adorable isn't the first word I'd reach for, but we're happy to have you. You two are so fun to listen to. I love the way you tease each other and, you know, you just sound really close. It's adorable. There's a giant smirk plastered across my face, though Rap doesn't seem to notice. I seem to have a kindred spirit on the line. I see. Please do go on. Sin, what's with that face? You need to be more specific. I don't always pay as close attention to my own face as you do. Anyway, what did you have for us, Madison? Right, so... There's a deep breath on the other side of the phone. Reb and I brace ourselves as we exchange a wary glance. Oh boy. So I have this coworker, Lorraine is her name, and she's so pretty. She has this sort of dark purple hair like someone from anime, but it's really cool too, and she always has it in a high ponytail. It's super lame, I'm super jealous. Plus she's curvy and her face is just gorgeous. She's seriously like otherworld levels beautiful. Anyway, I always really wanted to be friends with her, but she hates me. I know she hates me and it makes me so mad. She's always giving me dirty looks and won't even say hello to me when I get to the office. And whenever I try to talk to her, she barely acknowledges me. Like, who does she think she is? Does she think she's better than me? I know she's always like super serious and usually pretty stoic with everybody. But seriously, what is her... Hang on, Addison. You know that this show isn't for relationship advice or workplace drama, right? Is this for paranormal activity? I mean, unless your coworker's a ghost. I don't know if I want to hear about this. I was getting to that. Just stay with me. Okay. I can't help myself. I end up snickering into my sleeve. This girl's an absolute riot. So I don't really know what her problem is, but I just can't stand her. Last week though, something strange happened. She just started talking to me. Her voice was different, or not really. More like it was the same, but it sounded different because she wasn't being all stiff and stuff. She was all like friendly with me. Have you considered that maybe she's just into you? I don't know if she's into you. I mean, maybe she's a doppelganger, but maybe she's just into you. Like, just a 50-50 chance. Like, you get your skin stolen, or you get, like, killed girlfriend. Hear me out. Both are good options. Hey, Maddie. And then, that same day, when we were in the lunch break for lunch, she threw her arm around my shoulder and asked me if I wanted some of her churro. I said yes, of course. It was delish. But seriously, what? I thought you had to be possessed or something. And how did she even know my friends call me Maddie? I thought about it for a bit, and... well, I'm pretty sure she really is possessed. Alright, now it got my attention. This sounds a little bit like... or alternatively, she got relationship advice, and then she decided to go for it. Complete over-exaggeration. I'm intrigued. Please go on. I'm serious though. I mean, recently I feel like there's just this cursed aura emanating from her. Have you considered maybe she's just goth or emo? I don't really know. I can't see it, but it feels like there's some kind of invisible force thingy coming from her body. And like, I don't know. She just has this weird glowy presence now that she didn't have before. She was always intimidating, but never like this, you know. Wonder if some sort of malicious spirit or worse. This malicious spirit is into you. Well, sometimes things can attach to people, sure. Do you have any idea what sort of thing it might be? Yes, please tell us what you think might be behind your coworker's newfound warmth and affection towards you. Like, maybe it's a demon? It's just a hunch, though. I'll call back when I know more. Is that okay? Go ahead. Could be, though. Don't be too quick to jump to conclusions. We've heard plenty of cases about paranormal attachments that aren't really malevolent at all. Like earlier, the doll might have been like attached to by the grandma. That's like probably what happened. Might remember that case a few months back about the caller who felt their aunt's ghost helping them through a panic attack. So maybe it's something similar for Lorraine. Or perhaps it's something even simpler than that. Medicine, please consider all mundane, non-paranormal possibilities for your coworkers' behavior. And call us with any updates. I'm eager to hear where this goes. Okay, take care, you two. Wow, I wasn't expecting that. From Madison? No, from you. Usually you never ask people to call us back since you've always got an explanation on hand. This happens to be a topic that intrigues me. What, the workplace gossip? No, not that. Now for our next caller. Hello, you're live on the witching hours. What if it's Chuck? What if the next call is Chuck? No way, right? No, it's just Madison. What? Huh? Hey again, it's me, Madison from the other day. Well, I guess you can call me Maddie now since we talked and stuff. Hey Maddie, a lot happened the last 2 minutes? Huh? What are you talking about? We spoke for the first time tonight. You were a previous caller. No. I called 3 days ago, though. I was telling you about my coworker who's probably a demon. Oh god, what if we're stuck in the studio? This has to be a prank. Maybe, yeah, but at least she's got good energy, right? Maybe Chuck was outside because Chuck's concerned about us. We're stuck in the studio. Yeah, we remember. Did you find out anything else? Right, that's why I called. So I ended up talking to Lorraine yesterday because we were on lunch at the same time and I wanted to figure out what the deal was. Hey, Lorraine, are you feeling okay? Oh, Maddie. Hey there. She got up close to me and threw her arm around my shoulder, pulled me closer. I felt my face go flush a little. Yeah. I've been feeling fantastic. And that's what I mean. She never touched me without lilt before or had a laugh so sultry. Well, you just seemed a bit different lately. I haven't noticed anything like that. Why? Is something bothering you, Maddie? My chest felt funny. There she was again, calling me Maddie. Ugh. Oh, you keep getting super close to me? That reminds me, Maddie. Would you like to go out this weekend? What? I'm gonna be honest. She is pretty cute though. We've never really had the chance to hang out outside of work. Isn't that so sad? Well, I guess. I was just speechless. I knew something was up and this was so out of left field. There's no way on earth that stubborn and serious Lorraine would ever talk like that or act like we're friends. So she invited me to some mall by her house and we're meeting up tomorrow. I've been there once or twice, but most of their stores have closed down, so I don't know why she's invited me to somewhere so empty and dreary. That's totally suspicious, right? Although she's gonna sacrifice you. I'll be honest, I'm usually not the one to second guess things, but I'm not so sure this sounds like more than someone who's actually I'm not sure what's her take. Sinfidel. Please pay my co-host no mind. I'd like to hear more about this. How did you respond? I said yes. Obviously, I got to get to the bottom of this after all, but it'll be super dangerous if I'm not prepared. So I want to ask you to, well, first of all, get holy water, maybe some salt, garlic. It's okay, garlic also fends off certain people. My friend hates garlic. I don't know what's wrong with her. She's not even a vampire. What's the best way to fight or kill a demon? Well, depends on what demons really are in the first place. Now, a lot of people's first instinct is to go find a Catholic priest because that's how it works out in the movies, but the ritual Romanum has a pretty high rate of failure. Personally, I repel demons with a few rounds of karaoke and a pickleback. What? Are you teasing me? I want karaoke today. Like I told you, pay her no mind. Okay, but like, how do you actually kill one, though? Like, vanquish from this portal plane and stuff? I don't know. I've never tried killing a demon before. That depends heavily on the demon in question, given that demons appear in so many cultures and faiths around the world. In fact, demon is an overly broad term that isn't particularly useful, and throw beans at them. What about chocolate? Chocolate? Some demons look like goats or dogs, so maybe I'll make them sick. Fascinating. Madison, please disregard that entirely. Could work. Should I just bring some silver bullets or wooden stakes or something? I know it's the wrong monster, but maybe there's overlap. I would strongly suggest you not bring bullets or anything that you could use to fire them on an outing with a coworker. If you need to bring along silver, a ring or a pendant should be fine. Definitely do not spring a pointy wooden stake or gun on people, especially if they're possessed. Got it! Oh, and I'm gonna wear a sexy red dress. I gotta look good if I'm gonna hunt a demon. Demon hunters are always super attractive, I think. Yes, I think that makes perfect sense based on the examples I've seen. All fictional, mind you. I mean, if I die, at least I'll look incredible in my final moments. I don't want to die, but I gotta find silver linings somewhere. We don't want you to die either. Listen, good advice for any first co-work outing. Keep it a nice public place in daylight hours and I'm sure you'll be alright. And hey, good luck. Maybe Lorraine's just into urban exploration and dead malls. Yes, good luck, Maddie. And try not to mention your suspicions. Telling someone you think they might be possessed isn't a great first move. Unless you're into that. It might be a great first move if they're into that, but you don't know yet. Okay, is it okay if I call again if things get dicey? Well, we can't stop you. The most important thing, like we always say, is stay safe, and if you check out anything paranormal or strange, don't go along and tell other people where you'll be. No, I don't think that would be a problem. Yeah, okay, got it. Until next time. She's gonna call back again. Hello, you're on there. Hey guys, it's Maddie again. Yes, we spoke just now, didn't we? What do you mean? That was yesterday. That's not important right now. Things are looking really bad. I'm in the bathroom at the mall. I managed to slip away for a moment, but I think Lorraine is seriously a demon. Alright, calm down and take a breath. Now, we've got to move on to other college soon, but tell us what's going on. Well, I got here and it was a totally dead mall. Like I expected. There are 2 or 3 other people here, and one of them's just walking around with a camera. I don't know what that was all about, but not my business. She said to me at the food court, but none of the food places are open anymore. It felt so eerie, and the music on the speakers was still playing, but it was all muffled because it must be from the 80s or something. Creepy as hell. Why should she invite me over here, of all places? Anyway, she showed up in this really nice black bodycon dress. I think she wore it once to the work party. Lorraine, is that like what you see? You look gorgeous! When I said it was almost involuntary. Thanks. You're looking great yourself, Maddie. All this just for me? How bold. I love it. Her voice sent a chill down my spine. Anyway, her just felt way too fancy for an old place like this. I have an excuse for dressing nice at least. Anyway, when I saw her, something strange happened. Like, I kept trying to look away from her, but I couldn't tear my eyes away, no matter how hard I tried. I wasn't complaining or anything. She's very attractive after all, especially all dressed up like that. She's nice to look at, but that's not the point. She must have put some kind of spell on me, and I kept thinking about how I was gonna kill her. Whoa, 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 whoa. Slow down now and don't say or do anything dangerous or illegal. We're required by law to report certain threats or statements of intent, Addie. Please keep that in mind. Right, so I kept trying to figure out how to deal with her, or run away, or even what to do at the current moment. But my brain got all fuzzy. Like, the more I thought about her, the more scattered and incoherent my thoughts were. Like, there was a dense fog around me, and I couldn't even imagine there was anything beyond it. Just Lorraine in front of me. We kept talking, but I barely even remember what I said. Isn't that creepy? It's like I couldn't form thoughts enough to keep the words from my mouth down. I was just talking like it was automatic. But chest was pounding like crazy. I guess that's just a fear response? I felt like she had trapped me in her gaze, like I couldn't escape. I don't even remember how I managed to slip away, and the whole time, it also felt like there was a quiet whisper in my ear trying to make me feel at ease. Now, this I can relate to. You can? Yeah, this is exactly how I feel on a date before I order another shot and start looking for the number of the nearest U-Haul lot. I'm seriously scared right now. What should I do? I was sure if vanquish the demon if I got close enough, but I don't know what to do. No, I don't think you need to worry about vanquishing anything or anyone. Perhaps you should just tell her how you feel right now and explain what you're thinking. You mean, like, just ask her if she's a demon? Holy hell. This girl. Does she not realize Lorraine is just desperately thirsty for her? She truly doesn't see it, does she? I wonder how common that sort of obliviousness is. Cough, cough. You seem into it now. I thought you called this one an obvious hoax. It's certainly not a demon, but there's certainly something fascinating going on here. No, I think you guys are actually leading her to her death. Sure, that too, but maybe leave that for last after you talk about, you know, the fact that you feel at ease, the way your heart is pounding, the fact that you like your dress, and stuff like that. Then, after all that plays out, you can bring up the demon stuff if you still want, I guess. Does that give me some advantage over her? While we can't make any definitive statements about the behavior of demons, I think that's our best option here. Well, I could try that. Do you think I really have a chance? Taking on the demon-possessing Lorraine, I mean? Maddie, I think you may be overthinking things. Talk to Lorraine and best luck to you both. I guess I'll try that then. And if I manage to win or even just get out alive, I'll let you know. If not, well, I don't want to think about that. Thank you all both so much. She's not gonna call back after this. Haha, well, good for them. Up next we've got... If she calls back, it's not gonna be a pretty call. It's Madison again. Hey, you're back on air, Maddie. Everything okay, or do you just pocket dialers this time? Adrian is silent for a few seconds, then we hear Madison speaking in her usual peppy tone. Her prior trepidation gone. Hey guys, it's Maddie. Madison, how did it go? How long has it been? 8 hours, just about. We've been having so much fun. I really should thank the both of you. Oh, that's great. Glad to hear it. Oh yes, you're the one who did the hard work after all. Are you kidding? Without your help, I wouldn't know what to do at all. So really, it's all thanks to the both of you. Oh, don't mention it. And really, don't mention the details. This is a late night show, but sometimes people listen to us at work. It is good that you resolved this so quickly and easily. Really? Thanks for everything. I gotta find a way to pay you back, but I don't think I'll need to call back again. She's either possessed right now, or they actually did get together. 50-50. You should still call back sometimes. Absolutely not. Her voice suddenly loses all luster and settles into that flat, monotone response. Then it's back to normal. Something is off. Nope, she's possessed. Okay, I'm going to keep enjoying my time with Lorraine. I mean, my time with me. There's a quiet voice on the other end, but it's hard to parse. I think I can hear a whisper. Right. She said it's okay if I tell you what happened. About time. Alright, lay it on us. And, remember to keep the details PG-13 so the folks listening on the job don't get in trouble. Well, after I hung up earlier, I really took your advice to heart. So, you know how, like, she said, Maddie, original Maddie, said that she really likes the show, right? So, it makes no sense for her to be like, absolutely not. So, there's clearly, she's possessed. She's actually just possessed. Lorraine, what do you really... What do you mean, Maddie? You know exactly what I mean, don't you? I expected a stronger reaction, but she only tilted her head in confusion. Maddie, the other day you said I'm acting strange, but you're the one who's acting really weird right now. I started feeling guilty, but I know she must have been trying to throw me off. I had to keep pressing on. Don't mess with me. I know you're really a demon possessing Lorraine's body or disguised as her. Something like that. Maddie. Her eyes grew sullen. The look on her face made me believe she was genuinely hurt. Her tone conveyed it too. Guilt was catching up to me. Come on, Maddie. That's not funny. You think I'm joking? I know I have trouble showing it, but I have feelings too. The stuff you're seeing is really hurtful. A demon? Really? My chest hurt. Her face was so pained, yet I couldn't look away. It's not the first time someone has said that. I know people think I'm mean because I'm not talkative, and I don't know how to open up, and I'm not expressive. But it stings a lot. I began to doubt myself. Were all my assumptions just misunderstandings? I was making her out to be some evil creature from literally hell, and now I was just saying it to her face, and all this time I was really just being heartless and cruel, wasn't I? When I thought about it, I started to really hate myself. I'm sorry. If it's okay, I live right by here. Could you come back with me? What for? There's something I wanted to tell you. In my heart, I felt I owed her that much. I had to hear her out. At the same time, my mind was all foggy, so I just did what I always did. I listened to my heart. She led me to her apartment. It was super neat and super orderly, as I expected it to be, and quiet and cold and lonesome. It felt like such a sad place. Like the whole world outside faded away beyond these walls. You live here all by yourself? Yes. It must get lonely. She nodded. That guilt that had been reaching for me was only getting stronger and stronger, and I felt like it was gonna swallow me up. Her room was super neat and tidy, but kinda generic. Well, I guess the nice way to say it is minimalist. Oh, sorry, Lorraine. I didn't mean it like that. I took a look around. It felt like exactly what I expected of her, or at least the sort of room I imagined her in before she started acting differently. I was taken surprised by two things, though. The first was a big collection of stuffed animals. There's so many cute ones, like a bunch of Hello Kitties and Pokemon. Cap boy. I was a bit jealous. I always wanted to get the big Snorlax, and she had one lying on her bed. What was the other surprising thing? When I glanced at the desk where her computer was, I noticed a framed photograph standing beside the monitor. Was it of you? She was in the picture on the left side, and I recognized she was wearing the same dress in the picture as she was right now. She looked stunningly beautiful. When I turned back, my heart grew uneasy. Yet my eyes couldn't look away from her perfect face, her beautiful eyes which felt almost otherworldly when I looked into them. Her lips curled into a seductive, menacing smile. Well, look at the picture. What do you see? Can't really tell. Huh? I turned back as she commanded. My eyes widened. Beside her in the picture was me. I remembered this was a group photo from a work party last Christmas Eve. The rest had been cropped out and her image standing side by side was blown up to fit the frame. I recalled the discomfort I felt standing beside her. My emotions flooded out when I realized this photo meant something to her, that us being side by side was important. Starting to piece it together. Her words from the mall kept echoing in my head. All this time that I thought she hated me, I had her all wrong, didn't I? Her expression in the picture told me that she had felt something far from hatred. She seemed comfortable, if only for that singular moment. Listen to this, Maddie. She pulled a folded piece of notebook paper from the desk's top drawer, and her tone shifted as she began to mimic her own voice, almost derisively. There's someone I want to be friends with very badly, but I don't even know how to talk to her. She greets me every morning, and I can't even find the courage to say hello back. I don't know what to say. It felt wrong for me to hear it, even though she was the author and she was the one who wrote it. I didn't understand. It felt like this was something I wasn't supposed to know. As she kept going, I was all frozen up and all I could do was listen. Oh, thank God, finally! It's a good ending! I wish I knew how to talk to people. Madison was chatting with some coworkers and I wanted to join in, but my heart kept pounding and the words got caught up my throat. Will I ever be able to change? I felt her arm reach around my shoulders, her palm gently cupped my cheek, and her sneering voice kept reading on. Madison hasn't said hi to me this week at all. She must hate me. I can't blame her either. I hate that I can't even say my feelings out loud. Even the most basic things like how I'm glad she's around. I was terrified to turn around again. All the vile feelings I held towards her, jealousy, contempt, suspicion, fear, were consuming me whole. What if she was possessed by a demon, but it was like on purpose so she could change her ways? But this is a really interesting scenario. It felt like there were tendrils reaching for me and strangling every last drop of willpower from me. My own unstable emotions had gotten the better of me, and the seductive song and dance I'd lost from the start. I was shaking, shivering. I didn't know if I was scared of her or myself, yet I had to face her or I would hate myself even more. My gaze met her own. Pretty sad story, isn't it? A pathetic girl who could never even say a single kind word to the person she loved. Oh. She shut the book and tossed it onto the floor. I tried to reach for it, but my body seized up. I thought she might have been holding me too tight with her arm, but I noticed it wasn't that. I couldn't get myself to move at all. Now, just what do you think would happen if someone came along who could grant your pitiful wish? Nope. It's a bad ending. My eyes went wide with terror, and all she had to do was give up her own will. I wanted to scream, but I remained silent. Just as it had earlier, Maddie's voice shifted into flat monotone. She didn't sound cold or indifferent, exhausted, or even bored. Every sentence was a simple, detached report. The very concept of emotion started to drain away from her words as she continued recounting the story. In every third or fourth line, a trace of expression would pop up before vanishing once more. A small glimmer rising up to the surface and then swallowed down by something as vast as the ocean. I could speak, but words would not form. Maybe she had silenced me. Lorraine, or whatever this creature inhabiting her body was called. Guilt overtook all other emotions, and the gravity of the situation had dawned on me. Though some of me still remained, I was becoming her puppet, my strings in her hands. I was forced to dance to her tune. After that, it was oh so easy for me to work my way into your heart. She held one hand against my chin and I was trapped. A pair of massive bat-like wings sprouted from her back. Upon her head was a pair of black horns curved upward. towards the sky. That oppressive presence I had felt before was now all around me, and even if I had the will to fight back, I would have had no chance. I tried to find in the depths of my mind and heart the last remaining fragment to talk back. To fight with all the resolve I could, motivated by anger on behalf of someone I never knew. How dare you? I'm just fulfilling my end of the pact, darling. Really, isn't it your fault she ended up this way? I tried to throw a punch, but my arm stopped right before her face. She smiled. You know, she's watching right now. She must be happy too. Finally, she has you all to herself, like she always wanted. She stole my words from me. Wretched demon, is that what you're thinking? Please, Maddie. I'm just here to make the two of you happy, aren't I? Yes, mistress. It wasn't my choice to say those words. They sent a chill through my entire body. I could no longer control the words I spoke. I thought that I might still have control over my emotions, at least. But then I realized something else. When I called her mistress for the first time, I enjoyed it. A part of me still tried to find the will to resist, yet the rest had begun to submit. I had found pleasure in submitting, to giving up my will, and letting mistress take hold of it, all for herself. And a whisper in my mind told me that if this is what Lorraine wanted, why not just give in? There we go. You'll make a fine plaything now, won't you, Maddie darling? Yes, mistress. It would be such a shame after all. You can't let Lorraine's sacrifice go to waste now. So, you'll obey my every command. Isn't that right, Maddie? Of course, mistress. Upon speaking her name the third time, the remaining shard of willpower had finally shattered. I knew there was nothing left for me to do but give myself up to her. I knew I was mistress's plaything too. I've decided to live in her eternal bliss. No need to resist her pull anymore. Even now we're together. Hey. One voice spoke, but it was layered upon atop itself like two voices speaking at once, saying the same words with the same inflection. That bone-chilling voice made me shudder. She put a lot of faith into you too, huh? She must have thought that you two would have come to save her. But you wouldn't have, even if you could have, right? Reb starts to say something, but I give her the signal to stay silent. Really though? You two made my job a whole lot easier. I'd love to meet the both of you one day. How about you, Maddie darling? Yes, mistress. Of course. Maybe then the two of them can submit too. It would be wonderful if they could know this pleasure as well. You're gonna give her a harem? Oh, isn't she just adorable? And so loyal too. I'll be taking very good care of her from now on, so don't you worry. Bye-bye. Goodbye. That was either some really weird roleplay session or Rab seems unusually into this. Wow. Well, good for the two or three of them. As a reminder, you can call in to us with any sort of paranormal experience. Reb is clearly struggling to find her words. It's a good thing she stopped talking when I told her to. That was dangerous. I don't know if it was dangerous because there really was something possessing that woman, or if it was just some kind of elaborate roleplay, but it sounded nice. What? Yes, far too dangerous. It's now time for a quick commercial break. Please stay tuned and enjoy the music. This concludes the demo version of Bridgewater Deepwood Radio Access. Look forward to additional updates coming soon, including more opportunities for Rab and Zinnia to physically interact with their environment. Happy face. All around, very solid demo. Can I click these? I don't think I can. I never actually looked at this. Wow, that's a lot of options. Wait, are these random places? Hold on, wait, I need to see some. They move on their own. I see. I got distracted! All on, it's really solid. I like the writing so much. The illustrations, how they're framed is also a really nice touch, where you have the host in the foreground in a way where it's not distracting, but also so you're immersed into the story, but it's always framed in a nice way where we retain the radio aspect and also just. Dude, the stories are great. They're so engaging. Holy shoot, dude. It's like really good. That's really good writing. I don't really have anything else to say. I do like how they've put like the less serious ones at the beginning and more serious ones at the back. And we also get like a glimpse of like a bigger story, a bigger picture surrounding our host. Like, what the heck was Chuck there? We'll never know. But I really enjoyed this. I think you can really tell that I enjoyed this. Like, you could totally tell that I enjoyed this so much. Thanks for watching.